This is Donna with More Than a Review, and I am thrilled to be here with KaLyn. She is the writer of Romantic Suspense, and I just purchased one of the books last night. Trish did too, so we're going to get the whole series before it's over. And she's going to share a little bit about herself and her books, and then she's agreed to answer some questions for us. So, KaLyn, try to tell them just a little bit about maybe some fun facts about yourself, and then about your books that you write.
This is an interesting fun fact. I never read a romance novel until after I was 50 years old.
Oh,
I love suspense novels. I mean, Dan Brown, even Clive Cussler. I was really into suspense, and of course starting with Nancy Drew and all the usuals, and all. But it wasn't until after I was 50 years old that I finally read a romance novel, then fell in love. and of course I'm drawn to the romantic suspense end.
yeah.
And so that's a fun fact to know and tell.
So are all of your books romantic suspense, or?
No, I have a few contemporary romance.
Oh, okay.
And all. My novellas tend to be contemporary romance because in those, they're short to begin with. I mean, less than 125 pages or so, and it's much easier to deal with the romance side and the challenges of love in that short amount of time. It's really tough to write a romantic suspense in 30,000 words or less.
Yeah, yeah, because you're trying to balance both of those.
Yes, and that can be such a tough balance.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the best money you've spent as a writer?
I love my dragon. For those of you who aren't familiar, dragon is a voice to text. I have a confession to make in that I never learned to type. And so I am an absolutely horrible typist. I make more mistakes, and every time I do, it throws me back out of that flow of consciousness that I can get with Dragon. And so several years ago, I bought Dragon and instantly increased my writing speed to doubling and almost tripling.
Wow.
In that with my Dragon, I can write 1,000 words an hour.
Wow.
And rock it. Yeah. But I write differently with Dragon in that it just flows, and I can stay in that point of view and work through, especially conversation, and which sounds awful because I'm fighting with myself verbally, but I'm able to get it all out, and then I'll go back and edit the next morning. Usually I'll write one day, and I try to write an entire 2,500 words, which is about a chapter a day, and I'll write those 2,500 words, and then the next day I'll go back and I'll spend an hour or two editing it and adding in the emotions, and because I have a whole series of, okay, does this have the visceral, what emotion does it touch, is the language right, and I go back through it, and is the tone right, or is it too violent, would my character actually say it that way, and those I catch in that next day edit. And what it does though is that then puts me into the frame of mind. I'm locked into my story at the correct point, and then I plug in the Dragon and we rock again.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So because you do release several books a year.
Yes, last year 8 were published.
Wow.
But like the one that came out in January, of course, wasn't written in January. It was written the year before.
Yeah.
But to publish 8 in 12 months, that's
a
fast.
lot of work.
Yeah. But I've been doing that the last couple of years. I set forth an entire business plan, and as part of my business plan, I knew I had to build my backlist. Because 2-3 books and writing two a year, I knew that I needed to catch up. And because so many of my author friends, I mean, they have 15, 20, 25, 125, and I had to get that backlist built.
Wow, that's great. And I like that you're so intentional about it. That's great.
Yeah, well, that's that's the marketing and PR side, you know, of you got to map it all out, you know, you got to write those business plans.
But I think that too helps, you know, I'm thinking even a new author, to kind of think through, you know, the plan and not just the
Oh yeah,
the dream of being a writer.
oh yes, yes, yes. I mean, and if I don't have that plan, I get off course. I mean, it's in my phone. The minute I turn on my phone and it says, KaLyn, why are you not writing that book? You know, because I'm here at RAGT. You know?
You're like, I got to make up all those words.
Yeah, really.
Oh. So what piece of advice would you give to an aspiring writer that wants to start out?
First of all, get your words down on paper or into a computer. Okay, get them down, and then find the best editor you can. Who everybody says keep writing, but you know, you can keep writing bad. You know? And until you find a good editor, and I'm not talking just, well, you know, she did better than I did in English. That's not an editor. Finding the right editor within your genre. I'm very, very fortunate to have had wonderful editors, including Monette Michaels, who I think that you're going to find soon. Yes, yes. She ripped my first book apart, and you know what? She has made me the author I am today. And it's because of her, truthfully, that I'm a published author. And thank God for Lori Foster, who introduced us. But anyway, and then finding good authors or good editors who aren't going to take your crap. I mean, and aren't afraid. I have a pretty bold personality. Gee, and so do my characters. But I love my editor. You know, she doesn't mind telling me, KaLyn, you have used the word it 327 times in this book, and it's only 30,000 words. You know, you need to go back and tell me what it is. You know, and then she'll also tell me, are you sure you really think that your character would do this and say this? Well, and to find an editor that you can work with, because that process is a very give and take process. And the other piece of advice is grow thick skin fast. I mean,
I've heard that.
Yeah, my background came from journalism, and more than once I've had to do whatever the editor told me to do because he's the boss, and if I want that paycheck, which, you know, okay, I'm mercenary, I want the money and all. I mean, I want to be paid for my efforts in my production.
Right.
And all. I mean, and you have to take it, and it's always, there is constructive advice in there somewhere. Even though it's not always delivered the way you really want. You know?
Yeah. You know, I love that because I think sometimes we think the editor is going to tell us, oh, we need a comma here, or, you know, we need something here, but
that's my copy editor. No.
But it really helps you with, you know, would your character do this? And they kind of understand your writing and where you're going.
Yes.
And
yeah. Now those are content editors, and that was the initial editorial process that I was referring to earlier. Is, you know, you have your content editor, your final line editor, and your copy editor.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, no, it doesn't need a comma there, but you know, you do need less of these words and more of these. You know.
No, that's great. I think some of us didn't even realize there were so many different editors that can be involved. So.
There are in my life.
What do you want readers to get out of your books when they're reading them?
Pure entertainment. I want to write a book that they can escape in and wish they were one of my characters, wish they were in the setting, wish they could do the things that my characters do, wish that, or I want them to place themselves into the book itself. Many women read for escapism, and I want to give them a good escape. I want to give them a roller coaster ride, you know?
That's exactly why I read.
Yeah, I mean, and I want them to have an emotion. I mean, truthfully, if somebody tells me they hated my book, yes, because you know what? I emitted an emotion within them, and there is something in that book that they tied to in their background, or something that they related to that made them feel that emotion. And even though it's a negative emotion, I mean, I hit a nerve, whether it was a good one or a bad one.
Oh, that is. So anything in closing you'd want to share with readers out there that might be new to your writing, like maybe what book to start with, or?
Okay. Yes, I have 2 basic series. The first series that I ever wrote was Cancun series, and they're all military, of course, and they are former SEALs, and they get out of the military and move to Cancun. And if anybody has ever been on a cruise ship, you know, you have the excursions, and that's what these guys do. Different women every day. And all. But then there are women who stick around and who show up every week, like in one of the books, and all. She's the cruise director, and all, and the entertainment director. And then my other series, of course, is my Black Swan series, which are special operations trained secretly, of course, because it's illegal for them to be trained in spec ops right now. and all, but we all know that the military doesn't do anything without years of secret testing, just to make sure it works. You know, they don't want to roll out a program that fails. You know, especially one as public as Women in Spec Ops. And so that series is probably one of my most popular. And but I do have a new series coming out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Silver Foxes.
Oh.
But of course, they're still related to the military, and they're former military, and they're on a CIA team, and they're now about 10 years later. Many are out and different jobs, and you know, when you're in your 40s, you got a lot more to lose than you do when you're in your 20s. So it's going to be a good series. Yes. It'll be the Never series. The first one's Never Forget.
When's it coming out?
That one will be out in September.
Okay.
And I am publishing it with 8 other military authors.
Oh, great.
We've got this awesome anthology coming out, full-length novels and there are 8 of us. And you're going to recognize several of the names when it comes out. It's called Love Under Siege. And 99 cents.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
we will definitely be promoting that.
Okay, we'll do that.
Good. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Donna. I appreciate this. This has been fun.
It has been.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And you want to go back and see our Facebook interview. We'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you.